You want to know why I'm focusing on love? But the fruit of the Spirit is, how many fruit? When it lists the fruit of the Spirit, there's 9, right? So love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. So, but the fruit of the Spirit, what does God start with when he says, but the fruit of the Spirit? If you want to know about the Holy Spirit, what is the first fruit of the Spirit? But the fruit of the Spirit is love. First, foremost, it's love. When God comes into you, all of a sudden you're going to have this capacity to love that you never had before. Never could love with depth. Bob George said one time, he said before he was really saved, he told his wife, he said, I love you as much as I can love any person, but it's not very much. He was honest, it's not very much, because he said, I just don't have it in me. I try to muster it up and I just can't. He said, I saw men who really loved their wives and loved their children. He thought, what's wrong with me? He said, I would look in the mirror and say, what is wrong with you? You can't give away what you don't have. You can't fake it. You can't fake love, joy, peace. It's not human. It's God. Love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, and temperance come from God. It's the fruit of the Spirit. You don't muster up fruit. A tomato plant doesn't have to really try hard to produce tomatoes. It produces tomatoes because it's the tomato plant. Well, the Holy Spirit in me produces fruit of the Spirit. I need to be out of the way, though, and we're going to get to that. Okay, so some will say, there's so much talk about God's love. You know, we talk about love, but what about, let's we talk about this? What if we talk about the judgment of God? What about if we talk about this? And let's talk, and why aren't you preaching about hell? And why aren't you preaching about this? And you know why? Let me ask you something. If you were all going to Florida, if you're going to Disney World next week, and I say, I have a whole brochure about Disney World, would you like to see it? Or would you like to see a brochure about the Sahara Desert where people die when they try to cross it and there's a lot of bones there? You want me to teach you about the Sahara Desert and how much death is there? You say, why would I want to study that? I'm not going to the Sahara Desert. Well, that's why I don't tell you all about hell, because we're not going there. I'm teaching about where we are going. And how to get there is to believe in Jesus. Now, I don't need to preach whole sermons on hell and how hot it is and how bad it is. We know there is a hell. And we know if you reject Jesus, we know hell's not made for people. It's made for Satan and the fallen angels. But if you completely reject Jesus and reject Jesus and reject Jesus, yeah, then you might want a brochure on it. But why would you focus on that? Why wouldn't you just receive Jesus? Knowing this, why would you say, I would like to know what it's like because I'm going to reject Jesus for the rest of my life. I want to know about the place I'm going. That doesn't make any sense. Why, knowing this, would you reject Jesus?